The sun was shining over the island of Sodier, but inside the Tidmouth sheds, things were anything but calm. Guys! Guys! You won't believe what I just found. Thomas came rolling in at full speed, puffing smoke like he'd seen a ghost. Percy peeked out from behind a haystack. Is it another haunted brake van? No. Worse. Better. I mean, both. Thomas pulled a screeching stop, his eyes wide with a mix of fear and fascination. I found a video about Choo Choo Charles. Toby rolled in slowly. Isn't that the creepy spider train thing that eats people? Thomas blinked. Yeah. But he's kind of cool too. I mean, red paint job, powerful wheels, a terrifying smile, he's like James if James had a monstrous transformation and forgot what empathy was. Sounds like James already, Percy whispered. Thomas shushed him. Just watch. He hit play on the massive outdoor screen, definitely not OSHA compliant, and the video began, Choo Choo Charles in real life. Immediately, the screen lit up with flames, shadows, and that signature, blood-red engine charging down twisted tracks. His legs, yes, legs, scraped the gravel like spider claws. He let out a screech that sounded like a whistle, if a whistle had gone through a metal grinder. Whoa, Percy muttered. He's got style. He's majestic, Thomas whispered. And horrifying. Toby adjusted his bell. I don't trust any train that has 8 legs and no sense of track safety. But Thomas was transfixed. Look at that face. Look at those claws. He's like what I'd be if I went off the rails. You do that every Tuesday, Percy said. As the video played on, the 3 engines leaned in. Does he carry passengers? Percy asked. Or does he eat them? I don't think he follows a timetable, Toby mumbled. Maybe he devours the timetable, Thomas said, half joking, half admiring. It's honestly kind of impressive. Yeah, until he tries to devour us, Percy added. Suddenly, the video showed Charles emerging from a tunnel, eyes glowing, metal limbs scraping against rock. Sparks flew as he leaped onto a track, chasing what looked like a poor human on a maintenance cart. Okay, this is the part where I stop calling him cool, Thomas gulped. That's not first-class behavior. Then came a shot of a glowing red egg nestled in a cave. Wow, that's his egg? Percy asked, eyes wide. Toby leaned forward. It's kind of beautiful. Thomas tilted his funnel. Beautiful and deadly. Like a firework, or a toaster in a bathtub. I want to protect it, Percy said. I want to run away from it, Toby replied. Thomas puffed thoughtfully. I'm not sure if I want to hatch it or build a 12-foot wall around it. The next clip showed a guy in a hoodie creeping toward the egg. Thomas gasped. No way. He's gonna steal it. He's gonna die, Percy said flatly. The guy reached out. The egg glowed. Touch it, and I swear, Thomas hissed. He touched it, Toby muttered. He touched it. Thomas shouted, nearly launching steam from his pressure gauge. Then came the screams. The screen shook. Charles roared into view, eyes blazing with fury. Metal legs slashed through rock. The guy turned and ran like his life depended on it, because it did. Thomas gasped. Did he bring weapons? Nope, Percy said. Just vibes. Thomas slammed his buffers. He's unarmed. What's he gonna do, compliment Charles to death? As the video reached a fever pitch, Percy muttered, wait, what's that in the distance? On screen, a faint porcelain shape was waddling into view. No way, Toby groaned. Is that a toilet with eyes? Skibbity toilet. Thomas yelped. No, this is too much. I did not sign up for multiversal plumbing warfare. The camera zoomed in. Charles paused. The toilet stared back. There was tension. There was silence. Then, the most ridiculous thing happened, they charged at each other. "Oh no," Percy whispered. "Oh yes," Thomas beamed. This just became the greatest video of all time. Charles leaped. The toilet spun. Pipes clanged. Sparks flew. "And people say we're weird," Toby sighed. As the battle between train and toilet raged on, Percy asked, "Do you think Charles will win?" Thomas hesitated. "I don't know. The toilet's unpredictable. He's got flush power." "You just made that up." "I did," Thomas grinned. "But it sounds awesome, doesn't it?" Just then, Charles got knocked over in the video. Smoke billowed from his boiler. He wasn't moving. "No," Thomas whispered. "Not like this." "Wait, is he dead?" Percy asked. The video cut to black. Then a single red eye lit up. "He's not dead," Thomas yelled. "He's respawning. He's got DLC." The screen flickered back on. Choo Choo Charles rose from the rubble, steam hissing from his sides, his monstrous legs snapping back into place like broken scissors reassembling themselves. Thomas let out a shrill whistle. "He's alive! He's alive!" Percy was half cheering, half hiding behind a hay bale. "He's regenerating like a video game boss." Toby, ever the realist, muttered, "I don't think that toilet has a chance." The scene had now shifted to something even more absurd, Charles standing at the edge of a city, watching the Skibidi toilet army march in formation. Toilets with shades. Toilets with rocket launchers. Toilets with capes. This is a fever dream," Percy blinked. "Am I still asleep?" Thomas was grinning so wide his buffers squeaked. "This is art. Pure cinematic chaos." The video narrator spoke in dramatic tones. "Will Charles defend humanity, or flush it all away?" Thomas shouted at the screen, "Join them, Charles. Join the toilets." Toby groaned. "You've lost it." But the best part was yet to come. Charles, battered but defiant, suddenly spoke. His voice was metallic and gritty, like two freight cars grinding against each other. "I don't do alliances. I do annihilation." He launched himself into the air, yes, into the air, landed on 4 of the Skibidi toilets, crushed them, and let out a victory roar that sounded suspiciously like dubstep. Percy screamed. "He has a theme song." Back at Tidmouth Sheds, the gang was losing it. Thomas was circling in place, yelling things like, "Let's go, Charles," and "I need that soundtrack in my boiler right now." Percy danced. Bro's not just fighting for his egg. He's fighting for his legacy. Toby tilted slightly. "I'm fighting for my sanity." The next scene showed a mysterious man sneaking into Charles's nest again. The egg glowed brighter than before. Thomas gasped. "No. Don't do it. Don't you dare touch that egg again." "He's touching it," Percy said in horror. "Why do they always touch the egg?" Thomas shrieked. This time, Charles didn't roar. He materialized behind the guy like a teleporting ninja train from the 7th dimension. Everyone in the shed screamed. Then Charles said one word. "Mine." Boom. Explosion. Fade to white. After a long pause, the screen showed the man crawling out of the rubble. Thomas stared. "He survived?" "Barely," Percy whispered. "He's gonna say something wise," Toby said. "Like, I've learned my lesson." But instead, the man groaned, looked around, and said, "I think I just laid an egg." Silence. Then all 3 engines burst out laughing. "I take it back," Percy shouted. "This is the best movie I've ever seen." Thomas wiped a tear from his eye. "That's it. I want a pet Charles." "You're insane," Toby said. "No, hear me out," Thomas said, suddenly serious. "What if we raised a baby Choo Choo Charles? We'd train him to be good. Kind. helpful. Maybe we change his fate. He's not a Pokemon, Thomas, Percy replied. We'll call him Charlie, Thomas added dreamily. And he'll have playdates with Annie and Clarabelle. The video cut again, now to a scientist-looking figure in a lab coat holding the glowing egg. Oh no, Toby mumbled. What fresh horror is this? He's gonna clone Charles, Percy predicted. He's gonna make breakfast, Thomas guessed. With evil eggs. The scientist stared into the camera. We have harnessed the energy of the egg. It is magnificent. But also unstable. Boom. Alarm sirens. Red lights. Code Charlie, a voice screamed. We have a breach. Out of the shadows, a second Charles, this one smaller, sleeker, but with glowing green eyes, stepped into the room. Thomas gasped. Oh no. They made a faster Charles. Percy was trembling. He's baby Charles with attitude. Toby just sighed. I miss when our biggest problem was Diesel being cranky. Then the video took a strange, sudden turn. There was a cut to Thomas, but not the Thomas sitting in the shed. It was a live-action Thomas. A CGI horror version, with human eyes and a massive grin. Who is that? Percy screamed. Me, Thomas whispered. But not me. It's your evil doppelganger, Toby said, from the other Sodier. The evil Thomas stared into the camera. Welcome, he said, voice echoing. To the multi-train madness. Boom. Cue epic montage, Thomas versus evil Thomas. Charles versus Charles clone. Skibbity toilets doing synchronized attacks. A toaster explodes for no reason. Percy is seen flying through the sky wearing goggles. The music builds. Thomas, our Thomas, was now screaming. This is the best thing ever made. Here comes part 3 of the seamless animated style story. Thomas reacts to CHO CHO Charles in real life. Continuing directly from parts 1 and 2. The montage ended with a thunderous slam as the screen cut to black. Then, boom, explosion. Percy was still screaming. Why was I flying? Thomas was in total shock. They gave me goggles. I didn't even know I could wear goggles. Toby looked more shaken than ever. I saw myself dancing with a toaster. This is not okay. Suddenly, the screen buzzed again, flickering like an old TV, and slowly faded into a new scene. It was Charles. But not in battle. He was sitting on a hill. Under the stars. Alone. Thomas tilted his head. Wait. Is he sad? Charles looked up at the moon, his giant claws folded beneath him like a giant mechanical crab reflecting on life. There was soft music playing, something between tragic violin and horror ambience. Thomas's eyes widened. Hold up. Emotional arc? Percy gasped. He's got depth. He's not just a killing machine. Toby was already crying. He just wanted to hatch his egg in peace. The screen zoomed in on Charles's cracked armor. It pulsed faintly, a mix of red and purple. A line of text appeared beneath him. Even monsters have hearts. Thomas let out a shaky breath. I think I'm in love. Next scene, Charles returns to his cave, only to find the egg missing. The camera zooms in. His pupils shrink. The air thickens with dread. And then Charles flips out. He lets out a scream that shakes the entire mountain. Lightning strikes behind him. His spider legs stab through the rocks as he goes full berserker mode. Thomas grinned wildly. Oh, someone's gonna die. Toby whispered, I feel bad for whoever took the egg. Cut to the guy in the hoodie, running through the forest, holding the glowing egg like it was a burrito from a cursed food truck. Behind him, trees exploded. From the treetops, crash, Charles came down like a mechanical meteor, limbs extended, mouth open in a metal scream of rage. Percy stood up. Bro's running for his life. Thomas was now cheering. Run, egg thief. Run before Charles gives you a permanent seat in the furnace. The chase went full chaos mode. The guy leaped off a cliff, landing in a minecart. Charles skated down the mountain wall like some sort of extreme sport villain. Sparks. Screams. Explosions. At one point, they crashed through a taco train, don't ask, and burritos went flying. Oh no, Percy whispered, he dropped the egg. Oh, Thomas said. Charles is gonna flip harder than Diesel in a rainstorm. The egg rolled. It bounced. It landed, on a toilet. Oh no, said all three engines in unison. The skibbity toilet spun, screamed skibbity bop bop yes yes, and swallowed the egg whole. Cue the silence. Cue Charles's slow turn. Cue the toilet's confused stare. Then. Total annihilation. Charles snapped. Not horror movie rage. Not train ramming rage. This was Dad who just saw you drop his iPad rage. He let out a screech so powerful it shattered digital glass. The skies turned red. The mountains cracked. Even Percy dropped his funnel. Skibbity toilet just made the biggest mistake of his life, Thomas whispered. Charles's legs began to glow. Jet boosters activated. His front grille morphed into some sort of energy cannon. He's evolving. Percy shouted. He's in final boss mode, Toby confirmed. The toilet tried to flush itself away. It didn't work. Charles tackled it at Mach speed, sending them both crashing into the ocean. Explosion. Giant wave. A fish wearing sunglasses flew out. Cut to silence. Smoke. Bubbles. The ocean calm. And then. A single bloop. Charles's head rose from the water, egg in mouth, victorious. Thomas roared, "That's my boy." Percy was crying. That was beautiful. Toby nodded solemnly. Skibbity toilet never stood a chance. Then, the camera panned to shore. Standing there, was evil Thomas. He grinned. This isn't over. Cue cliffhanger. Cue credits. Cue Thomas short-circuiting in the shed. Thomas started spinning in circles. Did you guys see that? I was there. He was there. Toilet. Egg. Explosions. Percy nodded, still sniffling. Charles just wanted to be a dad. Toby, quiet for once, simply said, "That video changed me." They sat in silence. Then Thomas perked up. Guys? Yeah. Percy said. I need to be in the next one. 3 days later, Tidmouth sheds had been transformed. Giant LED screens hung from every post. Speakers mounted on Percy. Toby had a satellite dish on his roof. And Thomas? Thomas had duct taped 2 GoPros to his buffers. Okay, he whispered to himself. If they ever release a sequel, I am ready. Percy rolled in wearing a pair of toy sunglasses. You think they'll bring back Charles? They have to, Thomas said, steam puffing from his funnel. He's the main event. The goat. The train. The myth. The multi-legged legend. Toby chimed in from the corner, holding a mug labeled #1 Cynic. Or maybe it's just over. Maybe they ended it with Charles holding the egg, and now he's raising it somewhere peaceful. Thomas narrowed his eyes. You wish it ended peacefully. I know there's more. I feel it, in my axles. Just then, the screen flickered. Oh snap! Percy yelled. It's starting. Thomas shrieked. To the reaction stations. The video opened on a dark sky. Rain fell in sheets. Thunder cracked. Wind howled across an empty track that stretched endlessly into the woods. A soft hum echoed. Then, click-clack. A shape moved in the fog. It wasn't Charles. It was. Is that a baby Charles? Percy screamed. It was smaller, sleeker, rounder. Its legs wobbled, its head tilted, and it let out a high-pitched mechanical squeak. Thomas leaned in, heart melting. He's adorable. Toby said, that's what they said about gremlins, too. The baby Charles wobbled closer to the camera. He was chasing butterflies. Then, boom. Explosion. From the smoke rolled in. The Skibbity McToilet 9000. A toilet. With tank treads. And a robotic mustache. Thomas gasped. What is that? Percy flailed. I think that's the general. Toby deadpanned, the leader of the Bowl Legion. The McToilet 9000 raised a plunger cannon. Baby Charles squeaked in terror and zoomed behind a rock. No! Thomas yelled. Protect the child. From the woods, a familiar screech echoed. Crash! Full-sized Charles burst from the trees like a vengeful storm, legs blazing with fire, armor upgraded with glowing symbols. Percy screamed, he came back. Thomas stood frozen. He's even cooler. Toby wiped a tear. He's a dad now. The camera zoomed in as Charles faced the McToilet head-on. No words. Just pure rage. Then, bam. They charged. Cue the most insane fight scene ever animated. Charles leapt, kicking the McToilet's tank treads sideways. The toilet blasted plungers that exploded on contact. Charles countered with lava breath. Don't ask how. It's animation logic. Buildings crumbled. Trees snapped. The earth cracked open beneath them. It was pure chaos, just the way Thomas liked it. He's fighting for his son, Percy whispered. This is a Disney movie with claws. With toilets, Thomas added. Toby muttered, I feel like I should call plumbing services just watching this. Suddenly, Charles was knocked down. McToilet stomped forward. He aimed his ultimate weapon, the flush cannon. Percy panicked. No. Then, baby Charles squeaked loud and bit the McToilet's cable. Sparks flew. Boom. The flush cannon misfired and backfired, launching the McToilet into the stratosphere like a rocket-shaped bidet. Silence. Dust. Thomas whispered, Did the baby just win the war? Percy nodded, eyes full of tears. He's a hero. A squeaky, stubby-legged hero. The next scene faded in gently. Charles and baby Charles were on the beach, watching the sunset. For a moment, everything was peaceful. No war. No toilets. Just two trains, one big, one small, listening to the ocean. Thomas was completely still. This, he said, is cinema. But then, in the distance, a rumble. From the horizon came a new silhouette. A long, smooth train. Chrome. Neon. Futuristic. It screeched as it stopped, doors opening sideways. And out stepped Metro Mayhem. A high-speed bullet train with glowing red eyes and jet thrusters. Thomas's jaw dropped. Who is that? Percy whispered, oh no, a new villain. Toby shuddered. The sequel just got real. The new train stood at the edge of the beach like a chrome nightmare, gleaming, aerodynamic, with exhaust jets hissing like angry snakes. His name glitched across the screen in red letters. Metro Mayhem. His voice came like a digital growl. So, this is the legendary CHO CHO Charles. You're obsolete. Charles narrowed his eyes, stepping in front of baby Charles, claws digging into the sand. Thomas watched, frozen in awe. He's not just defending the beach. He's defending fatherhood. Percy was shaking. We just witnessed the entire Fast and Furious of trains. Toby muttered, family, but with wheels. The camera cut to Metro Mayhem revving up his boosters. The sand beneath him began to ripple. I've come from the future, Metro growled. No tracks. No rules. No mercy. Thomas gasped. He's trackless. That's illegal. With no warning, Metro launched forward like a torpedo. Charles barely dodged, claws scraping sparks as he twisted to shield his son. Baby Charles squeaked and darted to cover. The fight began. And it was chaos. Charles used terrain. Leapt over dunes. Slammed into Metro with fiery rage. Metro countered with hyperspeed drift turns and jet-fueled plasma kicks, again, don't ask. At one point, Metro summoned robotic minions shaped like hoverboards. Thomas screamed. No! Not hoverboard henchmen. Percy whispered, this is Sodier Endgame. Toby added, this is what happens when trains stop playing by the rules. Just when it seemed Charles was outmatched, baby Charles squeaked, then rolled toward a pile of junk. He scavenged parts like a genius engineer toddler. Cut to a montage of baby Charles building a weapon. I swear if that's a wrench made of love and rage, Thomas muttered. It was. Baby Charles burst from the junk pile holding a glowing wrench spear hybrid. He squeaked like a battle cry, and charged. Metro turned just in time for baby Charles to yeet the spear into his core. Boom. Sparks. Explosions. Metro reeled backward, malfunctioning. Charles pounced. Final strike. Steam. Fire. Victory. The battlefield fell silent. Smoke drifted into the sky. Charles stood panting, battle-worn. Metro, flickering and broken, looked up. You are the past. Charles narrowed his eyes. No. I'm the future, with heart. Boom. Final blow. Metro Mayhem exploded into a firework of chrome confetti. Thomas stood in silence. Percy whispered, that was beautiful. Toby simply nodded. Charles proved, you don't need high-speed rail to be unstoppable. Just claws. And love. The video ended. Back in Tidmouth Sheds, none of the trains moved for a long moment. Then Thomas slowly puffed forward. Guys. I don't care what Sir Topham Hatt says. Percy turned. About what? Thomas took a deep breath. I'm going to find Choo Choo Charles. Toby groaned. Oh no. And I'm going to ask him. Percy leaned in. Thomas raised his voice dramatically. To join Sodia United. What's that? Percy asked. A team, Thomas said, turning to the camera. Of the bravest, weirdest, creepiest, and most heroic trains in the world. He looked up at the sky. With Charles, me, and baby Charles, nothing can stop us. Cue heroic music. Cue steam clouds rising behind them. Cue one last image, Charles and baby Charles silhouetted in the distance, standing proudly as the sky fades to stars.